So let's jump in. We're going to get into the framework, and there is a couple of prerequisites. So the first prerequisite is that you have to complete effective keyword research, okay? There's no skipping that step. If you're not creating posts on the topics and phrases that your audience is actively searching for, you shouldn't expect any traffic. On the flip side of that, when you do create posts that answer the exact questions that they're searching for, you should be able to expect traffic over time when you build up your site's authority. So I already have videos on these. So if you just search on the top bar here in YouTube, Miles Beckler keyword research, it'll show you all of my keyword research videos. And you can see I've got quite a few of them. And really, anytime you're searching for how-to digital marketing stuff, just add my name in that search bar and you'll find my helpful videos, whether it's funnels or SEO or traffic or outsourcing, whatever it is you need to learn. I've got videos for you that I've already made. Cool. With that said, let's go back to the framework here. Now, the other prerequisite is for you to do keyword intent research. That is a must, and I'm going to show you how that ties in. And then you need to find your target word count. So you need to know how many words that post is supposed to be. I've got a video on both 1, 2, and 3. So just search those phrases. We're going to run through the process extremely quickly here so you kind of see it in action because they all work together. But to get deeper dives, again, just search on YouTube for my stuff. And then the framework. How does the framework work? Well, number one, we start with an intro. The intro is always working to meet that viewer, that searcher, that reader where they are, and to help them understand they're in the right place. Okay, we're meeting them where they are with a level of awareness they have. This will make more sense here in the future when we get into our real world example. Then the second part of our actual post is the best overall. We like to get into the best overall and the actual products relatively quickly. A lot of people put a bunch of content before they ever put their first affiliate link in, and the odds are a lot of your traffic is clicking back before they get down to your affiliate stuff. So we like to get this up towards the top. So we then lead and we start with the best overall, the best budget option, the best runner-up, and then the best under. And you'll see how this plays out, like best under $50, best under $100, whatever it is. Google's going to tell you what that is. Sometimes these don't make sense, and sometimes they do make sense. Okay, so this isn't a set 100% every time it must be done this way. Use flexibility and common sense moving forward with this basic framework. Then after that, we get into the alternates. Now, alternates, sometimes they're looking for product A and product B is a little bit different, but it does about the same thing. Again, this will make sense in the real world example. So alternate 1, alternate 2, we have some posts that have like 9 or 10 alternates in them. And then finally, to fill out however much content we have left, we use like a frequently asked questions approach. Now, all of these items are going to be generated from Google. We're going to let Google tell us. It's through the research phase before writing the post. Google's going to tell us most, if not all of these. So then what we get to do is we get to go build out more of the content that Google wants to see, that Google knows their people are searching for. And guess what happens when Google finds your website that answers all of those things that Google knows those searchers commonly search? Google likes your post more than your competitors. And that's exactly what we're going to do here. So I'm going to get a little case study kind of outline here. And what we're going to do for the case study is best chef's knives. Best chef's knife, excuse me. Again, I'm just assuming that I've already done the keyword research on this. I have data that says it's a high search volume, a medium to low keyword difficulty score. So I'm going after it, just saving some time here. Now, best chef knife means we're probably going to be reviewing a bunch of different options. This is different than the specific review for that one specific knife. I prefer to do reviews when people are trying to overcome decision fatigue. They know they need a chef's knife. There's 1,000,001 options in the world. They don't know which one is best for them. That's my job as an affiliate marketer, is to help them realize which is the absolute best for them quickly. And when they believe it, when they trust it, we're like, oh my gosh, finally, I know which one is the best for me. They click through and they buy. And that's when I earn income, is when I help them achieve their goals. This is the key to everything here. So let's jump in. The first thing I'm going to do, so we've done keyword research. So now I'm on number 2 up here. I need to research the keyword intent. And I'm also going to pay attention to what's already working. What is showing up? So if you notice, I'm just using autocomplete up top at first. And you can see best chef knife set, best chef knife under $100, under $50, and then brands, and then some other stuff. I'm writing these things down, not technically because you don't need to wait for me to write them down. These are the phrases that you either at least need to have in the text in the FAQ section, or they might actually be a subhead. And you see the best chef knife under 100 and under 50, they match up with our framework perfectly. So we've got a couple of them there. I'm going to go ahead and get those tied in here. So we have best under 100 and best under 50. Okay, and I'm just really, really roughly hashing out a outline here is what I'm ultimately doing. And you might want to do this in Word, Google Docs, Google Drive, whatever. I just love Notepad because it doesn't mess with me. And then I'm going to put set down here as well. I don't know if set fits for this because I think best chef's knife set would actually be a separate post on my website. Again, user intent, but I need to at least mention it, and then I could internal link it if I do write a post on it. So I'm going to ignore everyone else's recommendations. I don't copy anyone's recommendations. That's not what I'm about. I actually personally, if I had a chef's knife website, I would have on my payroll or someone who I was working with who is an absolute expert chef, and I would have them do all of the reviews for me. So I make sure that I am actually getting my users what they actually need, because I'm not personally the expert in chef knives. Maybe you are. Great. If you're the expert in your niche, you should just know this stuff. So I'm looking at the people also ask best chef's knife set, Gordon Ramsay, Jamie Oliver. I'm writing these things down in case they're relevant to the options that I say. Now, 11 best. You notice that? So we have a number in the beginning. So it's a number of best. If I want to outrank them relatively quickly, what I would try to do is the 13 bests or the 15 best knives, okay? A bigger number was generally going to grab the attention. So top rated cutlery, okay? I'm just observing what shows up here. Best chef's knife for 2020. So I could put the actual year in. I'm seeing both of those patterns emerge here. According to the best chefs, 13 best. So I want to go better than them. You notice they got both of them. So I'd want to do 15 best or 17 best if I could. Top 10, there's some local stuff, 10 best and the best for 2020. And then down here, I'm looking at what shows up in the searches related. Under 50, under 100, Japanese kitchen knives, interesting. Doesn't say chef's knives here. So kitchen knives are the other things that I'm seeing show up. So that concludes my keyword search intent. And what I've concluded at this point is that what I think the user is looking for, which is a list of options to help them choose the right one for themselves, is true. I've confirmed through Google, not logged in, okay, I wasn't signed in on this, and I've confirmed through Google that indeed people who search this phrase are looking for posts that show lists of the knife sets. So let's just jump in, and I'm gonna get my framework here. So the intro on this one is going to be, I love using the towards and away type framework because there's two things that motivate humans. You've probably heard the carrot or the stick. You can get the donkey to move by dangling a carrot in front of them. That's the towards, or you can whip them with a stick. That's the away. People are either moving away from pain or they're moving towards happiness. So what is the pain? The pain is having dull knives that are flimsy, that don't work right, and you smash your tomatoes. And the positive thing they'd be moving towards is that buttery feeling of having a great knife that's well balanced and well weighted in your hand. That's pretty much my intro. We skipped a step, and I'm going to go back, and this is all recorded in one take live like I do on my videos, so let's go do that real quick. How do you come up with the actual word count? Because I have a video on that, so I thought that I already taught, but I want to mention it here because I mentioned it before. So what I'm going to do is I would open up all of the content-heavy posts, okay? All of them, the top 10 content-heavy posts. I would go in, I would copy the number of words in the body. I would go up before the actual, whatever the actual comments start out as. I'm going to copy, perfect, we're down to here. How many words is that? So I'm going to copy this, and then I'm going to go over to a word counter. And I'm going to paste it in. And I'm going to do this for the top 10. And I'm going to run the average of the top 10. So what I'm looking for is what is the actual average top 10 word count on it. 3,200 words on this one. There might be some at 1,800 words. We're going to find a number in the middle. Let's say that number turned out to be 2,400. Okay, just a super quick way for you to understand essentially what is ranking, the word count that Google wants to see. The theory here is that Google is showing us exactly what Google wants on page 1. So if you make your post have all of the things and the right word count and the number of H2s and H3s that Google's showing us that Google puts on page 1, it increases your odds of going to page 1. That's the philosophy here. That's why we're letting Google tell us all of these bits and pieces. So we know we need a 2,400, or we can even say 3,200 words. Okay. Again, you need to search the top 10 content heavy. You don't want to look at the Best Buys and the Amazons and the e-commerce. You want to look at the blogs that are ranking. So the intro, we covered that. Okay. From the intro, we're going to do a best overall. Now, the best overall is literally going to be on the higher end. Since I have a best under 100, my best overall may actually be 200 or 500. What I'm going to search is what Gordon Ramsay, and what John Oliver use. And I would do keyword research to figure out who gets searched more. Do people search for more of what knife does John Ramsay use, or do people search more of what knife does Jamie Oliver use, or whoever that other guy's name was? I want to find out what gets searched more, and that would probably be my best overall, or at least one of those if it fits in with my expert's opinion. So we've got that one set up, and then the best budget. Now for the best budget, I need to go way under 50. So for best budget, I'm looking for a knife in about the $25 range. Okay. And I'm looking for a knife that's got a full tang. It's got this, it's got that. It's well weighted. It's well balanced. All of those things an expert in the world of knives would know. So if you're in whatever space you're in, this is the kind of domain knowledge that's required to truly help your people. If you don't have that domain knowledge, you can hire someone on Upwork who is an expert to give you and help you choose the right ones that have the domain knowledge. So what I would do is I would tell my researcher in this situation, my best overall, what knives does Gordon Ramsay and Jamie Oliver use? Best budget, I need the absolute best knife under $25. It's okay to go to 29, but I prefer it to be under 25. Then we've got the best knife under 100 and the best knife under 50. And then we go into the alternates because I don't need a runner-up. I've got enough bests right here already. So what are the alternates? So alternates would be like a Santoku knife, which is a different shape. It's not a chef's knife. A chef's knife comes to a point. A Santoku knife has a rounded edge on it. It's a Japanese blade. So we could talk about Santoku. I probably just spelled that wrong, and that's okay. We would check that. And then another one is like a utility knife. And then I would look for any other all-around knives, because that's when somebody's searching for a chef's knife, that's what they want is kind of an all-around knife, a knife that can do a lot of different things very well. So I'm going to find the different alternates. Got it? So we're not showing them more chef knives at this point. We're saying, hey, these are all the chef's knives. By the way, if you want one of these or one of these that are really common with people who stop using chef knife and use these instead, here are our best picks here. And I would search for these. Now, I might have a best Santoku knife post on my website. So I don't want to cannibalize that. I could reference it if I already have it, but I could put one or two. I could see if best Santoku under $50 shows up regularly. I could do best overall Santoku, best budget Santoku, and same with utility knife. And then we've got our FAQ. So what would show up in the FAQ? Now, on this, I didn't really see all that much other than what knives does this celebrity use? What knives does that celebrity use? If that doesn't fit anywhere up here, that's where I'm putting it, is in my FAQ. I want those names on my page somehow, somewhere, some way. So if they aren't actually the best overall knives, if that's what my expert comes to conclude or what I conclude, then I'm going to get that down in the FAQ. The other things you might get in the FAQ on this is, are chef's knives dishwasher safe is one of the items. How to sharpen your chef's knives. That could be a great link magnet post. That could be a totally separate post. You could put a paragraph or two and do some internal linking there. And then is it better to buy a knife set? Okay, we saw the idea of a knife set pop up multiple times in multiple places, and I don't think a knife set fits for one of the main options here, but we want to talk about it. Why? Because Google has showed us on page 1 that that's what people want to see about. So we could recommend one knife set, and then we could link to our other blog posts that are the best chef knife sets or the best knife sets for home chefs, whatever that main keyword phrase is. At this point, so I'm going to go dishwasher. Okay, so at this point, I have my framework. Okay, this is the framework worked out. Now, we got our 3,200 word count. This is where it all kind of ties together. We not only got our exact word count from Google, we got all the bits and pieces that Google expects there to be on a top ranking post. And now I just merge those. It's simple math. So how many items do I have? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I've got 11. So what does that mean? I need to do approximately 300 words for each of these sections. And then I will have hit 3,300 words, which is close enough for me. If you want to get perfect and get exact, great, go for it. I get that. But there's always going to be some trade-off and some balance. So now we need a 300-word intro. We need 300 words about the best overall. We need 300 words about the best option, 300 words about the best under 100, 300 words about the best under 50, then 300 words about Santoku, utility knife, and on and on and on. And what you have done here is you have allowed Google to show you exactly what Google wants, okay? That is the biggest key, and that is why my affiliate site has done so well so quickly, is because we're constantly delivering Google what it expects to see from a page one post. And that's why I have a lot of posts sitting on page one. That's why the site is now generating thousands of visits per day, and I'm getting hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of clicks per day over to Amazon. It's because I've followed this framework, and now you have the framework. The missing ingredient from this is an insane amount of work. I estimate that my team is putting in about 50 to 60 hour weeks. And we've been doing this for 10 months, which means we've put over 2,000 hours into this website. Now, 2,000 hours is what the average 9-to-5 worker works in an entire year. Okay, so we have done a year's worth of full-time work in 10 months, and we're still aggressively on the throttle. And this is why we're successful. That's the magic ingredient, is your effort. Tons and tons and tons and tons of effort. How fast can you get to 100 brilliantly optimized posts like this one? And if you don't know how to optimize your posts brilliantly when you're actually publishing them, be sure to watch my free SEO training. It'll pop up here on the end screen. It's the best training here on YouTube. It ranks wonderfully on YouTube if you search for SEO training or free SEO course or free SEO class. And that's because this stuff works, and that's why we're successful. I thank you for your time. If you have questions, get at me in the comments. I appreciate you, and see you on the next video. Till we meet again, be well.